late 1960s, I clerked on the Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C., and a lot of the cases there were communications cases. I developed an interest in it, went to get a job at the FCC. That was the start of my wireless career. A lot of people talk about the revolving door in Washington, but I actually think it's extremely positive that someone like myself who goes on to practice communications law learns the fundamentals at the FCC. It works both ways. It works for both ways, I think. After getting into the wireless business at the FCC, what caused me to commit to stay was a proceeding called Docket 18262, in which the cellular radio business was actually created by a combination of work that AT&T Labs did with Motorola and the FCC. So combined, that created a large block of spectrum. For quite a few years, worked at the FCC. I left the FCC and started practicing law. I had tremendous confidence in cellular really, really early. And I spent the first couple years of cellular as it was getting going. I'm very happily, very successfully representing clients who were doing it. But I should have jumped over the fence earlier and gotten in on the business side of it, as many did. I took the big chance, and in 1987 I left the practice of law and I started a company which became Nextel, and Nextel became one of the largest wireless companies. We started with 2 or 3 of us sitting around a table. From the 3 of us, it grew to something like 15,000 employees and 20 million customers when we merged with Sprint in 2005. The business plan was to go into the top 6 markets. This spectrum that the SMRs had, we could probably buy for pennies, whereas the exact same kind of spectrum, if it was cellular, was being traded at dollars and multiples of dollars. And so let's accumulate these businesses. Let's strip out unnecessary expenses. The so-called business plan was on yellow sheets of paper, and that's when Brian first was brought into the picture, because our financial godfather that we had gone to said, we're going to need to put a little more structure around this. The way Nextel was built was through a series of literally hundreds of acquisitions. And in the process of doing that, we went from transactions in which we took off our shoes and went into somebody's house and the corporate records were kept in a box on the dining room table, to Motorola. We saw every side of the American entrepreneur and the success stories that have built this industry. If you take one company's 5 channels and another company's 5 channels and put them together, that 10 channels can serve more customers than the total of the 2 5s. And it's trunking efficiency, they call it. We commercially launched a first generation new technology and it failed. And that was nearly fatal. Craig McCaw called. He made a large investment in that, and then he helped us retool the technology, and we made another launch, and the second launch was very successful. What I'm doing right now, Pacific Data Vision Wireless, I started that with Brian. A year ago, we raised $220 million by going to Wall Street, Brian and myself and a couple of others. And we used that money to buy spectrum from Sprint, which originally got it from Nextel. We originally bought that spectrum. A lot of that spectrum I personally bought over the years, and now we bought it back. And we're proposing at the FCC to make changes in it, the ability to support broadband, LTE, the same thing that is supporting smartphones. So the spectrum, the way it's currently configured, can't support it. So we have gone to the FCC and asked to change the rules, and that's the process we're in, and that's very much what Nextel did. There's a large challenge that the FCC and the federal government has of trying to make as much spectrum available for wireless as possible, and it's not something that's invented, so it really has to be moved around from user to user. It's also what's going to keep everybody busy for the next however many decades, is trying to continue to feed the seemingly insatiable appetite of the American consumer and society for wireless convenience. We used to be accused of hyping the potential of wireless before smartphones became as ubiquitous as they are, but the smartphone just makes the case. Looking at what the potential is, it's hard to exaggerate. I used to say every man, woman, child, and dog will have a wireless device, and we're getting closer and closer to that being true.